Hello, 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 beautiful souls. We're creating content because we're integrated, and now I have a little more energy today. At least I do right now. 10, 11. All right, so we've done some empowerment statements so far, some calling our energy back, revoking contracts videos, calling our gifts back, and now we're going to talk just a little bit about integration. I talk about this a lot, but Source has me share in every now present moment my personal experience with integration. So yes, I'm still experiencing ascension symptoms like most people, and I integrate things that are coming back or things that I've received for the light codes and everything, and sometimes it's hours I can integrate that, or sometimes it's a day or two. Well, this one was a big one. April itself has been a big month. Would you agree? I think so. Please comment and share, because this interaction with each other lets you know that you are not alone and you're not cray-cray. You're not delulu. It's all true, okay? I've said this many times, the more crazy it sounds, the more delulu it sounds. I guarantee the more true it is, okay? So feel into it. So we're learning how to feel into it. So a lot of us have been doing this a while, or remembering. I'm very clairsentient. That's one of my strongest. Clear knowing and clairsentience is one of my two strongest clairs right now. And so it's a clear knowing, and through resonance, through feeling, which I just got like chill bumps or truth bumps. All right, so we're learning to feel as we move forward as a collective consciousness and a species. We're not here to figure it out, to absorb more written words. We're here to feel through frequency and energy, knowing, discernment. And that we're not here to get the ego and mind involved and to try to figure. We're done figuring it out. We're done with trying to figure it out. It's you feel into the information. You feel into whether this is truth, this is true, or this is a big pile of bullshit. And if you're not sure, you just sit with it. You go in, you go within, because the answers are here, not out here. They're not in some book or books, right? We don't need to gain more. Like I said, the knowledge and wisdom is here. It's held here, okay? Let's just say that. Okay, so integration. I talk about this a lot. I've done light language transmissions to help assist with integration. There's many beautiful, also beautiful souls that are weaving together. Check out Ken Lloyd's official in the KDC for light language, activations with JJ for integration, or many light languages. If you're into light language, and if you found that that's been a huge tool, frequency and energy, like sound bed, sound bath, sound bowls, whether it's recorded videos, nature sounds, whatever it is, this will help with integration as well. Okay. Estella Starborn, I believe, is another one. My go-tos. My go-tos. I also listen to a lot of Divine Light Alchemy. Go to that channel if you want to check it out. And Divine Light Meditations. Those are also been very huge beneficial tools in my awakening journey toolbox. Okay. Especially when I'm integrating, okay? So sometimes I'm integrating so much that I don't even understand on the human level, that I just listen to my physical body. And sometimes meditation almost feels like it's too much work. Like taking a sacred bath feels like too much work, which sounds hilarious. My partner's like, that sounds like getting into a meditative position sounds like too much work. Yeah. When you're integrating, you feel so heavy, or if you're trying to transmute or clear and you're feeling collective stuff, because the collective's going through their dark night of the soul, and empaths especially are highly sensitive individuals, clairsentients. You feel collective energy, and you have to learn to discern, but you're still, sometimes you might be part, we signed up to be the anchors, the light, the bridges, the pillars to help the collective clear this, because certain souls might not be able to clear it on their own. Confirmation knows it, right? So we've signed up. We just forgot that we also signed up to not only clear all of our stuff, all of our generational stuff, all of the bullshit, but we also came to help anchor and transmute collective stuff. Yeah, I know. 444 on the timer. I feel ya. As you're also going through upgrades and activations and receiving the codes, the frequencies, the energies, the downloads, all of it. But you came here not because you're weak. You came here because you're so fucking strong. You forgot how powerful you are, how God and goddess like you are. We just lost our nature sound for some reason. Technology, confirmation, it's spinning. All right, you might be glitching the technology too. So just know that yes, we forgot, and it's coming back slowly, and eventually we will fully remember everything, right? When the soul is ready. So for me, integrating this, April's been just a wave of ups and downs and more integration. And I've said this through my awakening process. It feels like I'll have little moments where I'm receiving and integrating, where I'm, going through. And then there's like specific months, and it usually feels like it's every 2 to 3 months or 3 to 4 months, where like the whole month it feels like I'm just receiving, activating, elevating, integrating, rinse and repeat. And it's just like I feel more exhausted, more fatigued. Yeah, something went wrong. There's nothing wrong with you, beautiful soul. Okay, you're perfect, and everything that's happening is perfectly on time. You coded yourself perfectly, and I know there's moments it doesn't feel like that. Okay, so what happened, like I said, I've had a lot take place this month, and I've shared many videos on this, but we're going to stick to this time frame this week. We are in this full moon energy, which is on the 1st. I feel moon energy 7 to 5 days before, and that it's a portal. It's portal energy. It's activation. There's a whole lot going on. And during this process, being more connected to as well the planetary alignments and everything, and having a deeper understanding of that, sort of, kind of. And then afterwards, I feel it. So, yeah. So a couple days ago, and like I said, I've been going through I've been receiving a lot, as you have the source codes, the frequencies, the flares, the flashes, the activations, the DNA coming fully online, the crystalline body, all of these things. You're going through an evolutionary process at a genetic DNA, a molecular level that you can't see, but you sure the hell can feel. And you're humans trying to understand what's going on. Why do I fucking exhausted after 10 hours of sleep? Why do I have this head pressure, this throat stuff, this chest stuff, this back stuff, this hip stuff, whatever it is? All right. And the more you resist, the more uncomfortable you're going to be. And it's not punishment. It's your soul and your physical avatar and your energetic bodies, which there are many layers, like 12 layers out, are trying to get you to slow down, pay attention, get into nature, do all the whatever it's talking to you, however it's speaking to you. And it might be getting loud, okay? So you have to allow for the integration, because again, I've said this before, we all love the activations, because usually the activations feel really great. You have a lot of energy, you have a lot of inspiration, you have the desire to create, you have all these different playing, like the more childlike. And then like the next day, you're just like barely can get off the floor, flopping around like a fish out of water, like what the fuck? And I am so grateful. I've said this many times. I am so grateful that I have everything that I need, that I am provided for. The universe has provided for me during this process, which has been a 2 to 3 journey. And this last year was big, 18 to 12 months, that I have the space and the time and the no commitment, except for me and my kiddo from time to time, that if I need to lay in the fucking bed or on the couch all day, I'm able to do that. I mean, there's times where I'm doing that and then I barely have the energy to get in the car and go get him from school. I've had these moments where I'm massively integrating, or I'm purging, or integrating and purging, or both. Okay, so does this resonate? And always take what resonates and leave what does not. As 22 on the timer, the partner just said something, and he sensed 22 is our number. He knows that when he sees the number 2 for sure, or 11s, he knows it's a confirmation from the universe that I'm smiling at him, because he is 5,000 miles away in Africa, if you didn't know. That's a whole nother story. All right, so you have to allow for the integration. So as we weave this message in, which might feel like a squirreling, or we go off here, but we kind of try to pull it back and tie those threads and those weaves in, is fives are significant. He's also sending 5% battery. 5%. 5 is change, though, as well. his body's trashed. His nervous system's trashed. But again, I digress. For me, I'm also transmuting that energy and working with that energy because we are two of one frequency and energy. Because when you're a twin soul counterpart, you are two bodies, one frequency, versus a soulmate. Those are two different, they're like frequencies, but they're not exact. The twin soul is actually one frequency stream in two bodies. And a lot of us have incarnated around the same time. So the feminine is usually feels like doing more of the work, but that's part of the journey and part of the awakening process for that contract. We're going to get to what happened, I promise. So pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to what's happening like right before you fall asleep. Maybe if you wake up and fall back asleep, that liminal space, or like you wake up, fall back asleep, and the alarm goes off. So what happened the other day, and my alarm set for 5:55 because the kid's schedule changed not too long ago. And so I woke up around 5, I think, I don't know, and fell back asleep or whatever. And in my mind's eye, the best way, I was like a knowing, like I could feel like energy coming in and then shooting out, like this burst of electricity is the best way. It's like this surge of energy going out, but yet a surge of energy coming in, a surge of energy going out. And I actually felt like I was levitating in my bed. I knew what was going on. I felt like I knew I was in my bed. I knew what was taking place. I could feel my guides, but again, it's more of a not really seeing them. I can feel them. And then I remember with my right hand before the alarm went off, I literally, like a telekinetic thing. It was really weird. The one thing that I do remember is like I put my right hand out while this surge of energy is coming. And then all of a sudden I attracted my son's iPad to my hand. Like I telekinetically attracted it in. Like for some reason I needed to telekinetically grab the iPad, like, so I literally hold my hand out and it attracted to my hand like a magnet, and I grabbed it. I physically remember grabbing it and setting it down, and I set it down, and then the alarm went off. Okay, so what might that say be? What might be the interpretation of that? So I journal that, because there was, that all the little bit of details. I try to like find a visual I can see with my human eyes, but it's the best way I can describe it is like my whole, and it was more than my physical body. It was like my whole energetic body was just like lit the fuck up like a big star, because I'm a big energy. You are too, by the way. And so it's like electrifying out, but electrifying in. So electrifying out, pulling in, it's this expansion and contraction of this frequency, this energy, this supernova type energy. And so I've done many rituals or affirmations or proclamations using my sacred technology over this past year about calling my gifts back, my soul fragments, all these different types of things. And what felt as I get goosebumps a little more down my my right back side is, which is the masculine side, is any soul aspects that are ready. So you can set the proclamation. Let's say I said this, 6 months ago, but so you pull it into the field, but it's not fully ready to integrate. So you can set that, but you won't be able to integrate these things back in until you're ready. It's all about divine timing. And that's with integration or soul reclamation, because I was in many lifetimes, but for this lifetime, a lot of things were done to me from a very young age to fragment my psyche, but not just to fragment my psyche, but to fragment my soul, to break it up into more pieces. Because and a lot of starseeds have had a lot of traumatic, again, this is contractual, you have to understand that and have the higher perspective. But the purpose of these rituals or things, these traumas, these SA abuses, these different things are to fragment the soul into the psyche, to break it off. Because when your soul is fragmented, you can't fully embody your power, right? And there's a whole other stuff around that as well. My throat chakra, clearing again. All right. So what I think, and I sat with this and I work with my pendulum and just my knowing and journaling and, just asking the questions to my guides and stuff. And basically my energy was coming back. I was ready to receive more of my own soul energy, any fragmentations of soul gifts or soul pieces were being returned, but also expansion and contraction. So sharing that, it's that exchange, right? It's that exchange, remember? Energy, there is no beginning and then there's no end, all right? But so that's what it felt like. So then the next day or two, I've been integrating, like just wiped out after 10 and a half hours of sleep. Like physically, no energy, no motivation, just food has been, like I said, food, I don't like to get into food during this, but just having the struggle to find out what, it felt like a lot of work just to figure out what, that's why I do a lot of liquids sometimes during integration phases. One, it's just easier for the body to integrate because it doesn't have to focus on digestion. There's a video on it and other stuff. So I do a lot of liquids and easy to digest things, like liquids like coffee with some soy milk, and then green powder with watermelon water, then maybe some watermelon, which is super easy to digest, maybe some more watermelon, maybe some bananas, which are a little denser, maybe some pineapple. And if I need more grounding food, I usually eat that later in the day, and then I'm done. But I intuitively eat. And if I don't, if I happen to like just not, my body tells me really quickly that that's not what you need right now. Okay, so intuitively listen to what you need while you're integrating. So you may have been receiving not just these source codes, these energies, these frequencies, but if you have called back consciously or unconsciously, like, I mean, maybe you unconsciously did this, that's highly possible, and now you're receiving these power-ups. You're receiving your own power back, basically. You've called your power back, and now your power is ready to be integrated into your physical avatar, and that's the whole point of Ascension, beautiful souls. We are here to not to collapse, but to bring all aspects of ourself, all of our higher dimensional selves into this physical body. As I get full body chills as confirmation. Thank you, team. Right, so at some point, us first wavers who've done the work and cleared the space in our field and our physical body and done all the healing work, and the healing's never 100% complete, but you've made enough space that you don't literally fry, overload, circuits break, like frying the circuit board. So you've cleared enough space that you're able to receive more of this frequency, this energy, these soul aspects that you weren't able to maybe a week ago, a month ago, 6 months ago, whatever, okay? So that's just integrating that. So that was a big surge. Like, even though it felt like it was like a flash moment, it was a big receiving, right? Because everything can happen like that. Like, literally, you can go to sleep, take a nap, and wake up and be in a completely different timeline, in a completely different reality. All right, that's how this works. And so I've been integrating. But also with the integration, I'm having a lot of neck and shoulder and upper back tension. I've had a lot of crown chakra. So I know when my upper chakras are expanding is when everything from basically here up feels like I've got my backpack on, my through pack on, and my pack is heavier than it should be. My through pack when I'm hiking is about 35 or 40 pounds, and I'm about a $135 average. So my percentage of my backpack to weight, but just to give you an example, if you've ever through packed and you carry all your stuff, it feels like that's what I've been wearing my backpack every day, all day. So the neck, confirmation tension, clearing. Somebody's having a revelation right now because I'm clearing energy. But all this like vice grip, and it comes and goes where there's a release, and then it feels like someone's going like this or like this and like this, and you're like, and you're exhausted, and you're having throat stuff going on. So you have some sinus drainage, you might have some third eye pressure, maybe like tingling or buzzing, or feel like someone's stabbing you here, stabbing your occipitals. So my occipitals have been really tight up into my high. All right, and I see a chiropractor every 3 to 4 weeks, do some Graston to help release the fascia, because if your fascia is tight, energy can't flow. All right, so that's why it's good to do fascia work, whether that's through yoga, kundalini movements, fascia work, massage, whatever. Blood flow, energy flow. All right, so that's integration. So I've had more energy today. So yes, I did a little bit of content the past couple days, but basically yesterday I took some stuff out to the recycles, parked my car and did a global meditation, I was a lot of crying, just a lot of just overwhelm and release, and everything that I watched yesterday triggered a release, a cleanse. Again, at this point, when I cry, I'm like, okay, we're crying, we're purging, we're cleansing, we're clearing. I don't really know where it comes from at this point directly. It's usually indirectly, okay? Just know that you are receiving, all right? So I'd be curious to hear if anyone else has had these experiences. through their awakening process. This is not the first time I've had this experience. I've had many different at different stages, but the more knowledge and wisdom you have around that, the more empowerment, and the less fear. Again, stand in your power and know that this is happening for you and not to you. And when you release the fear, and let's say if I went into fear, that would be not a good thing. I was just open and I'll receive. But again, I'm sharing this because I'm now able to, in that liminal state, that lucid state, to know, oh, something big's taking place. And then I wake up because I remember, and I'm like, oh, cool. What just took place? And now we allow for the integration. And the integration might mean lots and lots of rest, might mean eating lighter, it might be eating more, it might be sitting in nature, watching the squirrels. If you have no energy to even take a walk, just sit outside, like sit on a stability ball and bounce. And I'll do that just to move the lymph and the, you know, or just to shake it up, or, you know, sometimes that feels like too much energy. And again, then just lay down and rest. Lay down and rest. So when I took my sacred bath last night, which really felt like a lot of fucking work, I think I need to do this. I just laid on my bed for about 20 minutes. And just when I came up from that after about 2 days, because it happened a couple days ago, I like something shifted. So sacred baths cleanse and purge and clear and help with integration. So there's many different things you can use and tools. Maybe I can put some of those together that will help with this integration of known stuff or unknown stuff, because you can't really see the source codes that you're receiving, the frequencies and the energies, but also receiving, when you listen to content like this or podcasts, you might be receiving frequencies and energies and activations, and now you need to integrate that, and you're like, what the fuck? So just know that if you're listening to super conscious or highly conscious cosmic conversations, you're more than likely receiving activations and codes. So like if you feel like a shift has taken place after a tarot reading or a video like this or a super conscious podcast talking about whatever, and you feel like something has shifted or activated, yeah, it probably did. And that's the point. We're here to activate and to wake each other up, or to plant the seeds and things like that. And we've probably been doing it our whole lives and you just didn't know it. Now you're consciously aware of it. All right, knowledge is power, wisdom is power. It's like empower you, take your power back, call your power back, call your gifts back, all of this stuff. And I just did a video on that. So if you want, check that video out. It's to call your gifts back. I did another video on burning and clearing contracts because you want to create the space for when your gifts are ready to return, when your energy, your full-blown God present, goddess present, your king and queendom energy is returning to you, okay? Your universal energy, your life force energy that's been siphoned, 2244, most of your life, whether you realize it or not, again, everything for a reason, higher perspective, release all the fear. Release all the fear, be open to receive, allow through unconditional love, light. You can say, I'm open to receive and I allow things to come in only through divine light, divine love, divine truth, divine knowledge, divine wisdom, divine power and empowerment, divine remembrance, only beings of unconditional love and light, all of it. You can set those parameters up, okay? That'll keep the channel clear, your boundaries direct with those here in the physical and the non-physical, the seen and the unseen. I also ask this across all timelines, dimensions, spaces, places, portals, and realms, known and unknown, seen and unseen, that my essence also exists or has existed. Make it big, claim big, call in big, ask for big help, whatever it is, okay? Again, comment, questions, if you have anything, okay, I'll just keep doing these videos in just different ways. And like I said, this is my work. I hit record. I share the frequency, the energy, the codes, the activations, whatever it is, I don't know, the human words. And I send it out into the universe, and I let the universal team, the spiritual teams, God source, creator, prime creator, handle the details. I don't worry about the details. I don't. I just deliver. All right? I love you. I'm you, you're me, we're we, and we got this, okay? And you know, allow for the integration, because just like physical fitness, which I come from, just like physical fitness, here we go, just like we thought we were done, just like physical fitness, the magic doesn't happen in the actual lifting of the weights. The actual magic happens in the rest state, in the rebuilding state, not the tearing down state. right? The magic happens in the rest and integration, but you have to slow down and listen to your body. So now we're learning to feel into what we need, not try to figure it out. We're not here to tell our body what it needs in all ways, shapes, and forms. We're not here to try to figure it out and what our body needs. We're here to feel into it. And it's going to change from minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, and week to week. And once you surrender to the fact of that, things will become really easy, really effortlessly. And if not, you might feel, if you're a little more resistant, you might get a little more uncomfortable or a lot uncomfortable. 252577. Okay? I love you again. From my heart to yours, I'm you, you are me, and I am proud of you. I am proud of the collective for making this choice. Okay? We'll see you soon.